Hello, hope you're having a fabulous and fun day. I just wanted to come in here and give you a little insight when we're talking about or looking at Feng Shui, what you can do to truly help assist you in bringing and attracting wealth and prosperity and abundance. And so what we're going to do today is really quickly, we're going to talk about the Feng Shui of the Wealth Corner and what you can do to begin to use Feng Shui as a tool to truly help you bring in a new abundance and feeling that shift in that vibration and that frequency. You see, all too often, people are operating from fear, self-doubt, and anxiety, where they're sedating and suppressing their true self. And a lot of times when you talk with people, they're so anxious about money. And so what we want to do is take some of that anxiety out of the equation and help you truly start to step up so that you're not just showing up, but you're truly stepping up to welcome that wealth and abundance and that new opportunities and possibilities that are able to attract to you. And so what I want you to think about is the Bagua is an opportunity to help you understand and correlate certain areas of your home associated with certain areas of your life. And so when we're looking at a Bagua map, and you can visit my website, kenlauer.com, and you can download my free ebook. And that will show you the Bagua map. And the Bagua map is basically 9 different areas within a square. And so there are certain areas that are associated with certain areas of your life. So the way that I approach it is based on how the chi or the energy comes into your space. And so here's what I want you to think about. We'll keep it very simple right now. And that is we're going to look at your bedroom. So if you're standing in your bedroom and you're looking into your bedroom, the back left corner is considered your wealth area. And then in the back center of the wall would be considered your fame and recognition area, how you're seen in the world. And the back right is your relationships, your marriage, things like that with significant others. But right now what we're talking about is the wealth corner. So example, in the bedroom, if you're standing at the bedroom door looking in, it's in the back left corner. So what I want you to do is I want you to bring out your phone and literally take a simple picture. Because you see, what happens is when we're looking at it, we've kind of lost the new perspective or those fresh eyes that we want to see. But when we take a picture of the wealth corner or wealth area or any areas of our home, all of a sudden, it gives us a different perspective. And so what I want you to do is go there and take a picture and start to see what is that story that's being told there. And what is it reflecting and how is that mirroring your current situation with your finances? You see, all too often it's a clue and it provides insight. Maybe you got tons of boxes, maybe it's storage, maybe there's nothing much there, or maybe it's thriving and it's abundant. But all too often we're having challenges and distractions and disruptions, or we're looking to accelerate our pace and what we can truly achieve. And so when you look at the wealth corner, you want to look at and see what is that clue, because that can help you define and show you how your space is mirroring your current life and your current situation. Now, the challenge is all too often people will just focus on the wealth corner, and that's when they think, oh my gosh, I'm going to win the lottery, or I'm going to get the promotion or something like that. For me, the wealth corner tells you a clue on what's happening. But the reality is there's 12 to 15 things that are all telling the same story within your home or your environment or your professional space or your business or something like that. Hi, Rebecca. How are you? Hi, Julie. How are you? So good to see you. So let's talk and let's answer Julie's question here about what do we need to do and what can we do to facilitate that or improve that. Now, keep in mind that maybe your wealth corner is right beside your bed. And so you have to look at and start to use common sense. All too often when people approach Feng Shui, they've read articles or they've read a book or something like that. And I've seen people down in Chinatown, they have their book and they're like, hey, here's what I'm looking for. I need, blank. I need some mystery coins or some Asian coins or who knows what the latest trinket or gadget or lucky charm is. And so hi, Linda, how are you? So glad that you're here. And so when you're looking at your wealth corner, again, it's telling you a clue of what's happening in your current situation or what may happen. And then understanding, okay, is that mirroring what I want? So that's the first step, is awareness and understanding what is going on there and what can I do? And then what we want to do is we want to change that vibration and that frequency. So if it's an area that you haven't been using, then all of a sudden you want to figure out, how can I use that, or how can I infuse that? It could be simple as a light bulb, adding something there. It could be a salt rock lamp if it's in the bedroom, so that it's infusing the space with negative ions, which is literally considered chi. And so there are all different types of things you can do. Maybe you're adding a simple plant so you have that growth and that abundance and that vibration and that frequency of living energy. All too often, people are focused on the trinkets, the lucky charms, and all that does is, maybe if you're lucky because you set your intention, you find 20 bucks on the ground. But it never quite gets you to the level that you truly want, or the abundance, or shifting in your mind of shifting from, I just need more money, to I'm truly building my net worth and building my empire, or however you want to do it, or talk about your moat of safety, so that you're truly setting yourself up to build a legacy that lasts beyond just these next couple of years, or that you're just trying to save, because literally saving just means that it's only a matter of time before you spend it on something. And so what do we need to do to truly set yourself up for success? And so the first step is, I want you to take a look at it and just see, what is that story being told? Is it a story that's truly reflecting what you want? And if it's not, then say and ask yourself, what could I do to enhance this? You know, I was on a conversation the other day, and it was a really intense conversation because the person is working at a big company and has had a lot of disruptions and reorgs and things like that. And all of a sudden, I just started asking some simple questions. And I knew where I wanted to take this person, or where I wanted to guide or lead them. But all of a sudden, they were able to answer the questions and come up with all of the answers. And so right now, you can look at your own space, and it has to be in alignment with what you want. I'm here as a guide. I'm not here to save anybody. I'm here to lead or guide someone into helping you get out of your own way, so that you can truly move forward in a simple and easy way. And so what we want to do is, we want to start to gain awareness into, what is that story being told, and then asking yourself, is that the story that I want? And then if it's not, then what can we do to really enhance that? And so hi Sharon, how are you? Hi Rebecca, awesome. So let me know, guys, in your bedroom, in your wealth corner, if you're standing in your bedroom right now and you're looking at the back left corner, what is in your bedroom right now? Is it a dresser? Is it a nightstand? Tell me what's going on and what you're experiencing in that space. And then ask yourself, is that reflecting the new vibration and frequency and shift that you're seeking in your life? Where you're shifting away from just, oh, I need money, and shifting into a place of wealth and abundance and exchange, and making a bigger impact in the world. And at the same time, you're truly aligned to your higher purpose. You know, all too often, the number one thing that people want from Feng Shui is to make more money. But the reality is, that's a byproduct. What they're really looking for is to be more aligned with their passion and their purpose. And when they're more aligned with their passion and their purpose, they have a deeper connection with their professional life, where they truly feel like there's an exchange, and they're offering something of value, and they're making a bigger impact. And so what I want you to think about is, if that's truly the result, and that's where it starts, then what is the story of your space telling, and in alignment with that, or is it distracted and disrupted? So Sharon says it's the door to the bathroom. So Amber says, my husband's nightstand, the marriage is falling apart right now. So Amber, here's what I also want you to think about. So that's the wealth, and the number one killer to a marriage or a business is cash flow. So Amber, let me know, are you having some financial challenges right now, and that's creating the disruption, or are there a lot of other things happening? And here's what I want you to think about, Amber. We're talking about the story right now of your wealth corner. But what I want you to do, Amber, is stand in your bedroom door and then look to the back right corner. And that's your relationship area. And that's going to tell a story or give us some clues on what's happening and what's going on in your marriage. So let me know what is in the back right corner of your bedroom right now, and we can talk this out. So as we begin to start to understand, number one is what is the clue? What are we aware of? And then number two is it mirroring or reflecting what we really want? Then three is we begin to get to decide of what do we want to do to enhance or to accelerate or to change and shift or transform what we're trying to achieve. And so one of the things is, as you gain awareness and as you reflect on, is that the story that I want to experience, then you're going to intuitively and instinctively come up with some different solutions. Amber says, huge, there is a light. Okay, what kind of light? Is it a floor lamp? Is it, what is that there, Amber? So let me know. Now, keep in mind, guys, we're just talking about the bedroom, and the bedroom tells us a clue. But the reality is that space or that clue or that image is typically reflected in a lot of different ways, 12 to 15 different ways within your space. And a lot of times it starts from the outside and works your way in. So it's not just typically one thing in that space. Usually, if you were to divide the back wall of your bedroom, if you're standing at the door looking in, we divide it into three sections. So the back left corner would be the wealth corner. So it might come out further than just being in the tiny corner. And in the equal amount would be in the back center, which is how you're seen in the world. And in the back right is your marriage and relationship area. And that begins to tell a clue about your communication, your connection, or lack thereof. And then what we want to do is begin to understand, okay, where is that clue or that story or that theme being carried out? And all too often, a lot of times there's challenges because over time, we've allowed other things to infiltrate our space, or because we've had some trauma, drama, and stress, all of a sudden there's just some random things there. So for a wealth area or a wealth corner, you want to keep it clean and clear, but you want the energy to move. You want to use it. So all too often when a person is struggling, a couple things happen. One is their social life implodes. It gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And that's just a sign that you're having disruptions. And a lot of times that's also associated with the finances, because when you don't have finances, you don't want to spend money, you don't want to go out, you feel bad if people are going to dinner or things like that. And so that's a sign that maybe there's some disruption if your social life is imploding or deteriorating over time. And so what we want to begin to do is, what can we do instead of contraction? What can we do to put in there for expansion? And so all too often for me, the simple thing is adding simple living plants, like something that's living. Again, you want your seasons to start to represent spring and summer, if you're looking at it as a season rather than fall and winter. And all too often, a space when a person is experiencing challenges is associated with fall or winter, meaning things are dried, things are dead, things like that. So Amber says there is a floor lamp next to the armoire with TV. So all of a sudden, it tells me, Amber, that maybe, and again, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but when I start talking about this space, one is financial challenges, which I said is like one of the number one reasons for killing the relationship. And so it could be the wealth corner, which you say is his nightstand. And then also when we look at the relationship corner, it tells me that there's probably not dialogue or communication, that it's one way. And there's not really much communication back and forth. And it's kind of just when you do talk, it's like statements. Okay, I'm going to do this. And maybe it's not even a conversation. Maybe it's literally just a statement. And a lot of times when we have those experiences, then it's only a matter of time before you deteriorate and you truly feel underappreciated and the other person just doesn't care anymore. Linda says, I just recently put a touch floor lamp and a nice green silk plant arrangement on the floor. Awesome job, Linda. That's great. Lainey says, messy. My bathroom has clothes on the floor. And then Sharon says, my relationship corner in the bedroom has a velvet covered armchair that I usually throw clothes on. So that tells me a lot of times, Sharon, maybe you're sedating and suppressing your relationship or your passion or what you're truly interested in. And so, and then Lainey, your bathroom that has the clothes on it. So a lot of times maybe you're trying to cover up the challenges and not get real with the situation and what's really happening for you or in your life. And so all too often, everyone has certain tools or certain triggers or certain things that they're using to sedate and suppress. You know, whether it's addictions or, you know, watching TV in the bedroom or binge watching on, you know, who knows what, or the internet or Facebook or scrolling. Everybody's got something that they use or that they retreat to when they're feeling like they've been triggered, and they'll sedate and suppress what is happening. And so one of the things that we want to ask ourselves when we look at these areas is it hiding something, or is it supporting a false reality? And what I mean by that is, you know, all too often when we're looking at certain things in our life, we build them up because we don't want to feel the pain. Again, sedation and suppression. And so what are we doing to help ourselves support the current story? The current story may be, hey, I'm the best person ever. I'm amazing. And yeah, when I look at my bank account, it is nowhere near where I want. Or you're stressed about the upcoming holidays or the new year or who knows what. And right now I'm just talking in general terms. But what I want you to start to realize is every time that you focus on that, your energy contracts and you're starting to get frustrated. And then all of a sudden there's anger or embarrassment or shame. And then again, that creates more collapse. And so what we want to start to look at is in each of these areas, what could you do? What's one simple thing that you could add? Maybe it's just adding a living plant, or maybe it's picking up your clothes. And what could you do to bring the true authentic self back? Beyond all the layers that have added over time, what can you do to truly bring yourself back to your reality that's true, that's real, and that's raw? Again, a lot of times we don't want to peel back the layers anymore. You know, I asked somebody and I was like, how does that make you feel? Or how are you feeling? In this day and age, we're not in touch with our feelings, and it's very hard for somebody to articulate. And so a couple things happen. All of a sudden, they'll say, oh, well, you know, that makes me feel sad. Or a lot of times they can't even articulate the feeling, and they'll just go into some type of action or some type of description of something. And if they do allow themselves to feel for 10 seconds or so, or 15 seconds, then right away they'll support themselves with, oh, but it's fine, it's okay, because they're not used to really digging down deep and really feeling that. And there's so much pain or so much suppression or sedation that they no longer want to get into that place. But again, the most powerful person or the most powerful woman in the room is the woman that has nothing to hide. And so I'm here as a guide to help you embrace the Wonder Woman that you are. I truly believe that each person that comes in contact with this, that is part of my mission and my purpose, is what do we need to do to help you get back to being the amazing Wonder Woman that you know you truly are? And what clues or breadcrumbs can we start to see or identify to help us increase our awareness so that we can understand that although I truly love, you know, myself, what can I do to embrace myself even further on a deeper level, so that we're operating from a place of confidence and certainty rather than fear, self-doubt, and anxiety. You know, in the past, I had experienced some meditations and things throughout my training that were way beyond what I thought was even possible. You know, for me, I've seen the movie of my life. I've experienced possession. I've experienced, you know, talking with, you know, those that are above and beyond, all kinds of different things, and I never knew were possible. And one of the experiences that I had was I was kind of zapped by this master, and it allowed me to experience things that I never knew were possible. I could walk by anybody on the street, and in New York City, it was incredibly bombarding but I could walk by a person and understand exactly what they were feeling, what was going on with them, and the amount of stress and anxiety that they have. But one of the things that I was experiencing at that moment was such a level of certainty. And at one point I thought I was literally losing my mind. But when you have such a level of certainty, and a lot of it is, they say that you're kind of stuck in between worlds. But I had such a level of confidence and certainty at that moment that I could have said anything and it made sense. And not only that, but I could articulate and have a voice so that I could communicate with anybody where they're at. And so that meditation or that experience kind of dissolved over the time, because there was a certain point in time where I was like, boy, I don't know if I want a lifetime of this ability, because I wasn't able to shut it off. It was just all consuming. And even at night, I'd be connecting with people's energy and healing them and, sharing stories. And I thought I was literally losing my mind. And then I started getting feedback. People started telling me their experiences. And they're saying, hey, I don't know what you're doing or what you're thinking or whatever it is, but you're spot on. And so I'm telling you this because what I want to share with you is that you're capable of so much more. And so some of these tools that we can use, such as Feng Shui, or maybe you have other tools that you use that's helping you gain awareness. What are you doing today to truly help yourself move forward? And so one of the things that we're talking about today is just looking at what is the map and what is the clue so that we can kind of break through and give you that awareness into your energy and your vibration and your frequency is not at the place that you know is possible, and that you could be achieving so much more and having a bigger impact on a completely different level. And so what I want you to do is I want you to think about and look at these two areas of your space in your bedroom just to start with. And that is your wealth corner, meaning if you're standing at your bedroom door, look at your wealth corner. What is that story telling? If you had to take a picture, literally take a picture with your phone, and then you looked at it and you said, that is not the story I want to tell. That is not the story that I want to live. And then ask yourself, what is that story? And it doesn't mean that you have to go out and buy some crazy watch or some crazy jewelry or diamonds. That is not the purpose of wealth and abundance. It's not the exchange. I was thinking today where I was seeing people and thinking about people giving gifts to each other. And a lot of times those gifts are one-off things. Like it will never have as much value as it did on the day one, right? And then it's decreasing over time. But in our society, we believe that, oh, that's love, or that's abundance, or that's wealth. And the reality is, it could be something so simple and so easy that makes you feel 10 times wealthier. And so in the Feng Shui Your Life group, today is Wealthy Wednesday. And so each person is identifying, and not only identifying, but taking action in the things that make them feel wealthy. It could be as simple as drinking tea. For me, I've identified a couple different things. For me, I love eucalyptus smelling bath gels and shower soaps and things like that. Another thing that makes me feel really wealthy, literally, it is $2.79. Big spender, I know. But I love this brand, San Benedetto carbonated sparkling water. It comes in glass. It makes me feel wealthy and abundant. So I'm making sure on Wealthy Wednesday that I'm embracing my gift and raising my vibration and my frequency to truly feel wealthy and abundant. And so what I want you to start to think about is, what are certain things in your life or your situation that make you feel wealthy and abundant that don't correlate to spending vast amounts of money? Maybe it's donating. Maybe it's donating your time. Maybe it's having a bigger impact in those around you. Maybe it's certain things. Something else that makes me feel wealthy and abundant is having things out in my living room that I can, a piece of chocolate or something like that, because it reminds me of the holidays. And in the holidays, we always had this amazing, smorgasbord of snacks and treats always out all day long. And it always made me feel so wealthy and abundant. My aunt would make homemade fudge, and we'd have like 5 different pieces of fudge. And I just remember that feeling. And so what I want you to start to think about is, what are the things that make you feel wealthy? You know, somebody commented in the Feng Shui Your Life group that they had some fancy lipstick on, and they just put lipstick on, and the person couldn't stop smiling all the way to the gym or to yoga or something like that. And it was just something so simple, but made her feel so wealthy and abundant. So what I want to do is ask you, what are certain things in your life that you could do that make you feel wealthy and abundant and is not tied to money? Lainey says, I can't take a picture because it feels like I can never get everything clean. Lainey says, such a gift. Sharon says, can't argue with that. Amber says, I'm supposed to leave my marriage. I'm certain. I'm supposed to be represented in my wealth corner. So here's the thing, Amber. One of the things that we have to do, you know, when a person is experiencing frustration or fear or self-doubt or anxiety, and here's what I've experienced of working with predominantly women over the last 14 years. And that is, you can't make the pain go away, but you can limit the amount of time that you're distracted and disrupted, or that you have clarity. You know, if I'm lucky, I get to work with a woman right before, during, or right after a separation, because we can dramatically decrease the amount of time before we get her empowered. And here's the fact. Here's what I've noticed over the last 14 years. On average, the relationship separation wreaks havoc on women. And on average, it takes 5 to 6 years before the woman gets back to being her true self and saying, hey, I'm ready to get back to being me. Because during that time period, they're just trying to go through the motions. They're just trying to pick themselves back up, or there's a lot of emotions or feelings around it, or a lot of patterns and habits that aren't really, something that's supporting what you really want. And so on average, it's 5 to 6 years. Again, if I have a chance to work with somebody before, during, or right after, we can dramatically decrease that amount of time and get you back into being Wonder Woman. But here's what I want you to think about. Right now is not the time that you need to make a decision. Right now is, what do you need to do to get back into a place of power? And it doesn't mean that you have to argue or debate or anything like that. It means so that you're truly operating from a place of confidence and certainty, rather than a lack of certainty or fear or self-doubt or anxiety, and then getting into the what ifs. And so by simply looking at these areas, and the reality is, here's the other factor that I want you to think about in your wealth corner, or when we're talking about these things, and that is, focus on what you can change and not on what you can't. So let's see, I'm going back up here. I wanted to see, let's see. Lainey was talking about, I believe, that she had the bathroom door right there. And so you're not going to be able to get into a place where you're going to remodel and move the bathroom somewhere else. Now, so you could be focused on it and really worry about it, or you can say, hey, this is a situation. Here's the facts. Like, keep it clean and clear. Like, that's it. But then if we look at the story, all of a sudden now there's clothes in there. And that starts to tell a story. Sharon says, that is my truth for sure. I may be done. All right. So, and Sharon, I'm not sure what, I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to may be done. Is that in your relationship or something else? Let me know, because we're covering kind of a couple different things. So I want to just be clear. So look at these things and start to understand what is being reflected and what is the awareness, and then what can you do to truly embrace the wealth and abundance in your life. And again, you focus on the areas that you can change and not on what you can't. So is there something simple that you can add? Is there some way that you can begin to shift the energy? Is it something around wealth and abundance that truly, like example, for those that are in the Feng Shui Your Life community, in the private online community, what can you do today or even tomorrow that when you do it, it feels wealthy to you? And is that something that you can do? For me, a lot of times it's just simply lighting a candle. Anymore, I use a diffuser because I don't want to worry about constantly cutting the wicks and things like that. And so I use a diffuser, and then I put certain essential oils and things like that that make me feel wealthy and abundant. And so there's one scent that I truly love, and it's from Muji, and it's called Relax. All of a sudden I had to look at it, and I love it. It makes me feel like I'm at a spa. And so I truly embrace that because it makes me feel wealthy and abundant. And so you begin to identify the things that support you rather than harm or distract or contract what you are. Sharon's saying regarding relationships and taking a lot of time to heal after them. There you go. So, so Sharon, one of the things that we can talk about again is, we have the opportunity to help you reduce the amount of time that you're distracted and disrupted. And a lot of times it comes back to a life event. All too often when you're speaking with people, they want to take you back to when you're 7, 8, 5, 10 years old or something like that. The reality is in life, there's other life events that have happened much more recent than that have truly taken you even further off your path or created some type of trauma, drama, and stress. And so what I want you to think about is, what do we need to do to start to get your spark back? Because at some point that spark kind of went away. When you were younger, you wanted to do something, so you just did it regardless of the aggravation or the challenge or anything like that. Now all of a sudden you're like, oh, too much aggravation, not enough reward. Like there's a lot of challenges to get through. And so we can limit the amount of time that you're distracted and disrupted and get you closer to being your true self. And that for me is the recipe. Whether it's the hedge fund manager that went from like 350 million under management to 6 billion and now all of a sudden has 5 homes and all of these other things, or the healer that truly convinced themselves that they did not need money, even though that they were suffering. They didn't know if they were going to pay their electric bill each and every month, but all of a sudden they're like, hey, it's going to be there. I'm truly positive thinking. I know it. But there was so much worry and stress each and every month if they were going to just be able to keep their lights on. And then all of a sudden we started working, and then it was no longer about, hey, $1,500 or $2,000 a month. Actually, then it started to shift into $40,000 months. That was income. That wasn't revenue. That was income. And what do we need to do is, how do we work less, make more, and have a bigger impact? And maybe money is not truly your thing that you're truly focused on. Again, Feng Shui, the number one thing that people want to see or experience or want help with is making more money. But to me, it's a byproduct. It's, how do I have deeper connection? How do I make a bigger impact? How do I help more people? Or how do I provide a bigger service to those that I can truly help or provide that experience for? And then how do I have a deep connection with that and aligned with my purpose and my passion? That's when things get fun, right? And then the money just starts to happen. And that's a byproduct. But a lot of times people put the money first and they get so consumed by it, and they're trying to figure out, hey, how do I get another nickel? And that's okay. Henry Penix, I interviewed a while back, and he's like, hey, the very beginning I had to focus on my pennies, and now I can focus on my millions because I went through that process. And so what I want you to think about is, again, what is the story being told in your wealth corner? When you're standing at your bedroom door and looking there in your wealth corner, what's the story being told? And then what can you do to embrace the shift or the change or the story that you truly want? Linda says, burning frankincense and myrrh is heavenly for me. I learned I can burn the resin in light olive oil in a candle wax burner, and it's great. There you go. Awesome. I love that. So guys, this is just a little bit of clarity in helping you just take a moment, because I wanted to really just come in and connect with you and give you the opportunity to start to make that shift, to start to feel the energy and the passion and the excitement that you can have when you're truly making a difference and you're aligned with who you truly are, and not the story that's evolved over time, which all of a sudden you look at and you're like, this is not me. See, again, the whole goal is, how do we peel back the layers and get you connected with your true self? And when that happens, the world opens up to you. And that's when things start to get fun. That's the recipe for me. We can start to input all of these different tools like Feng Shui and stuff like that. And for me, Feng Shui is the quickest way that I know right now that I can tap into your subconscious. I can understand exactly what's happening very quickly. and tell you to do a couple simple things, and all of a sudden it creates a shift in your energy or your perspective or your story. And then once we get our story going, then all of a sudden, then we can get you in a daily power, focusing on your patterns, your habits, your behaviors. And then we start to set our intentions and say, hey, if we're going to manifest some stuff because we've already experienced some random coincidences and things like that, what do we really want to manifest now that we're truly operating on a different level with a different vibration and a different frequency? And so that's what I want you to start to think about is, hey, at the end of the day, what do I really want? What do I want to experience? What do I want to experience with my money or my revenues or my professional life? What do I want to experience in my relationships? How do I have a deeper connection in my existing relationship? Or how do I attract love and a partner that's perfect for me physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially, all across the board? And if you have it now, amazing. If you don't, that's okay. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. But we have to be focused and set the intentions and start to gain awareness into popping the bubble of the false reality that maybe the stories have been told to you or that you've been creating that are limiting you from possibilities and opportunities. Linda says, Ken, since I've started the Feng Shui journey last year with you, I've been able to manifest in our home a haven that makes me feel wealthy. Linda, thank you so much for sharing that with me. That almost brings tears to my eyes, because it just, for me, it's great to put a roof over my head, but what feeds my soul is the feedback and hearing how that has shifted and transformed how you experience life. And I try to share it and communicate that with so many people, but they don't truly understand it or get it until they've experienced it and experienced the shift. Amber says, oh, you are so right. My story matches with my corner. There you go. So Amber, what I'd love to do is invite you over to Feng Shui Your Life. And what we're talking about is we're talking about closed private group here. And a lot of people here that are right now communicating and sharing comments and feedback are in that group right now. And it's an amazing group because so many women are truly experiencing breakthroughs on a daily basis. Things that they didn't think were possible, all of a sudden now they're like Wonder Woman again, and they're truly flying. So I'd love to welcome you aboard. Again, I try to take the financial friction completely out of the equation, and I've made it just literally $39.95 per month. You can cancel at any time. That's not my concern of trying to get somebody, hooked in and doing something that they don't want to do. It's about, if you're looking to gain a new perspective and new clarity in your life and get back into daily power, then this is your opportunity to do so. And right now you're in a transition and there's a lot of questions that are happening. Rebecca says, hi, Amber, would love to have you join us. So I just included, Amber, a link that you can check out when and if you're ready, but I'd love to welcome you aboard. Friday, we have free coaching Friday within the group, and I'd love to bring you live and really help you start to unpack this and start to get you back to being the Wonder Woman that you are, so that you can truly have a deeper connection even with your children. Because right now, when you're having challenges or distractions or disruptions, instead of getting closer to who you are, a lot of times we sedate and suppress. And we start to telling ourselves stories that aren't in alignment with who we truly are or what we're truly capable of. So what I want you to, again, guys, think about is, first of all, thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate this opportunity to connect with you and communicate with you and giving me the opportunity that as things come to me, I just have to get out of my own way and share them with you, because when that happens and my clients listen to me, it kind of works out in a really big way for them. And so this is really appreciative, and I truly appreciate it. So if this is something that you're enjoying, always appreciate the thumbs up. If it's something that you're all of a sudden gaining insight or perspective, always appreciate the love. And if you know somebody in your community or that you're close with that is having some distractions or disruptions or could just use a new perspective, then feel free to share this with them. So here's the takeaway on what I want you to think about. So number one is, if you're standing at your bedroom door looking in, look in the back left corner at your wealth corner. Take a photo of it if you're able to, and see what story that's being told. And again, focus on what you can change and not on what you can't. Number two is ask yourself, once you look at it, is this the story that you want to be living and experiencing? And if it's not, then what can you do to begin to create the shifts? For me, it's not about dictating what you must do, even though that a lot of times people come to me for guidance and I'll provide the insight. But what I want you to think about is what's true to you. Again, the recipe is simple. All we have to do is get you back to your true self. And it's when things become out of alignment, or all of a sudden you're doing something based on what somebody else or some other decor or decorating person is telling you to do, you're moving further and further away. And all too often with Feng Shui, this is the worst, because all of a sudden they've read some articles or somebody told them to buy a lucky charm. Next thing you know, your space is looking like some souvenir shop in Chinatown. And instead of getting you closer to your true self, you're getting further and further away. Now, every time you see it, you're second guessing it. Oh, I don't know, but I'll try it because somebody told me that this lucky charm or this, three-legged toad is going to bring me wealth and abundance. So, but in the meantime, the way that you're showing up in the world is your vibration, your frequency is low. And so that lowers your attractiveness. And what I mean by professionally is you're limiting your opportunities and your possibilities, whether it's promotion, whether it's business, whether it's attracting new clients, whatever it may be. You don't think as clearly, you're not able to communicate, you're not able to get your voice back or talk in a way that's truly transforming. Lainey says, can you pay someone to help organize and clean your house, or is it something you have to do for yourself? Lainey, the more leverage and scale you can get, the better off you are. Sometimes it's really nice to be able to work with somebody that has resources or means, because we can get so much done so much quicker, because we can bring people in. You just have to be clear on what you want. But the reality is sometimes maybe you don't know, the outcome of, hey, I want my kitchen to feel more organized. But maybe you don't quite know because you haven't had enough experience with it. You bring an expert in, and then all of a sudden they'll help you. For me, I have a cleaning person that comes in, to clean our place. It's not because I can't do it. But for me, I'd rather spend time with you rather than scrubbing my own tub. And then they actually end up doing a better job, and I'm not frustrated, and the place looks great for my family, and it supports us. And so it's okay to understand, how can I gain leverage and scale? And again, you have to get out of this mentality of, it's not about working more to make more. It's about how do you work less, make more, and at the same time have a bigger impact. And a lot of times that's about priorities. All too often, I'm working with this client now, and they're, almost at the level where they're in the C-suite, chief blank officer or something like that. And so all of a sudden they're used to doing it all themselves everywhere. But the reality is the time is becoming more limited. It's becoming more valuable. So things that all of a sudden really have a price tag of $10 an hour, hey, farm that out. Figure out, how can you get some help? How can you get some assistance? And not everybody has the resources, whatever that dollar is. Like maybe you just don't have the resources, and so you have to do it yourself, and that's okay. Or there's certain situations where maybe you just rather do it yourself. And that's okay too, if there's a certain reason associated with it, because it brings you joy. Or, for me, I love landscaping. I love trimming trees and bushes and things like that. It's so rewarding. At one point I was like, what is going on with this process, and why do I love it? Because for me, I had to identify it. Hey, I see real progress. Every time I cut a branch or something, I see progress. And then I get to truly bathe in the end result when it makes me feel good. And so I can see the progress. I know that I've been physically active, and I see the end result. And when I see the end result, it makes me feel good. And when I feel good, I want to do more things and have a bigger impact in the world. So you have to begin to understand, where in your world can you do certain things? And then where can you farm it out or gain leverage or gain scale? And the challenge is sometimes maybe you're a specialist in a certain area, but it comes to your space or your life, maybe you're not. And that's okay too. So again, I'd love for you guys, for those of you that are not in the Feng Shui Your Life group, I'd love to welcome you aboard. Just click on the link here in the comments. Again, it's just a simple less than $40 a month. And every week we go through the story of your home and what it's telling. So today was Feng Shui photo reviews in the group. And so everybody posted their photos, and then we come on live and then we start talking about, hey, here's the story that's being told. And it's not a place of embarrassment or shame or anything like that. It's about understanding what's that story that's being reflected, and is that the story we want to experience? And all too often people are like, hey, I know that there's some progress to be made here. I know that there's some new opportunities and possibilities. I know that I can truly take my energy to a new level. And so that's exactly what we do within those Feng Shui photo reviews. And so every week within it, we go through and we understand, hey, what's the story being told? And then what can we do to simple, easy techniques to help us move forward? And I thought Jill was here, but I don't think Jill is here right now. But she was literally posting pictures of, Saturday Night Live and doing the dances, because she was saying, hey, I am truly strutting. Like, I am truly dancing around in my own home because I feel so good. If you saw her a month ago, you would never have called that. Now all of a sudden she's dancing, she's singing, she's having fun. And that's half the battle. Like, if we're not having fun, like, what's the point? But we've not given ourselves permission to have fun and to celebrate our progress wherever you're at. And maybe you're not anywhere close to what you truly want. But again, we have to celebrate the progress, because when we do that, we gain momentum. And when we gain momentum, we gain visibility into seeing further and further out. When we have more distractions or disruptions or trauma, drama, and stress, you have to bring your visibility way back in. And we're not used to adjusting that vision further out or further in, because you're used to being able to see further and further out. And so you keep operating from that level, but the reality is there's a lot of fog and you should be looking like that. But instead you're trying to look miles ahead, and then you're frustrated. And so what can you do to truly help you move forward? Rebecca says, hey, Lainey, I've helped some friends clean and helped inspire them to change. Make sure you trust and enjoy them. They said my help helped them feel empowered. So Rebecca has been rocking and rolling with helping this shift. And this is not something that was necessarily, she was commenting, if you don't mind, Rebecca, she was commenting the other day how, this is something completely new for her. This is not something that she was really expecting or planning on, but all of a sudden she's helping her friends and people that she knows, and it's making a transformation and a change in their lives, because again, they're seeing and experiencing their space in a different way, and that's impacting the patterns, programs, habits, feelings, and emotions on a subconscious level, which represents 86 to 88% of your brain. And so when we can do that, we can have a big influence on how you experience your life and what you're able to truly call in, and at the same time, what you're truly able to manifest. You see, as you start to expand your energy and your opportunities, your vibration, your frequency, it also heightens your ability to manifest. And that again brings us back to, hey, what is the story being told in your subconscious mind around money, or around your relationships, or that communication or lack thereof? And what can we do to start to create that shift so that you can truly begin to have some fun and begin to experience progress? So guys, if you have a question, feel free to enter it in the comments below. I'm really enjoying this opportunity in this conversation. Again, we just started out talking about, hey, how do I find the Wealth Corner? And maybe you've missed that. If you just come live, let me know. For those of you that don't know, I'm Ken Lauer. I'm a Feng Shui expert, and I've been truly helping people gain clarity, take action, and get results in their personal and their professional life using the principles and the tools of Feng Shui to help them move forward and to live a life that they love. And so what we're talking about is the Feng Shui of your Wealth Corner. And so one of the areas that we talked about was your bedroom. Now, what I want you to do is, if you're standing in your bedroom door looking in, I want you to look at the back left corner. Now, for those of you that have been on this session since we started, what I want you to look at now is, where is the Wealth Corner in my home? You see, the Wealth Corner, there's a lot of different ways that we can begin to look at this Wealth Corner. We can look at it, we can look at it at the lot shape, like truly the Wealth Corner of the lot. But also what I want you to look at is the Wealth Corner of the home. So if you were standing at the front door of your space, or if you had a floor plan, the back left corner of your home represents your wealth corner. And so we want to start to understand, again, what is that story being told of your wealth area in your home? For some people really get frustrated because they're like, oh my gosh, it's the bathroom. And the reality is that's okay, right? Because, we need a bathroom. This is not, a long time ago where there was no bathroom. It was always an outhouse or something like that. And so in ancient times, it was not a sanitary place. And so you wanted it outside the house. Nowadays, it's for the most part very sanitary, and so it's not quite the same experience that it was in the past. And so you can't be freaking out, because the reality is it's a functional item of your space. When I started learning Feng Shui, people are like, "Oh, you got to close your door for this year, and you can't use that bathroom." I was like, "Are you kidding me? That didn't make sense." And what I've realized over time is when you contract or you're operating from fear and you stop using those spaces, you have more distractions and disruptions or challenges in your life. And so the more that you expand and use your space more, and it becomes more functional and it supports you and serves you, the better off you'll do. Awesome. So guys, hopefully that was helpful and you truly understand and begin to understand what areas are associated with what areas of your life. Let me know in the comments here, maybe what's in your wealth corner for your entire home and not just the bedroom. And let me know what story you think that's being told. Or if you'd like some input, feel free to list in the comments here and I'd be happy to review it as well. And for those of you that find this really interesting and fun and cool and really insightful, then come on over to Feng Shui Your Life. We'd love to welcome you aboard. Again, today is Wealthy Wednesday, so we're doing things that are truly empowering us and make us feel wealthy. And then at the same time, we have Feng Shui photo reviews. So every week we review the photos of your space to understand the story that's being told and then what you can do to create the changes and the transformations that you truly desire. So guys, I truly appreciate it and appreciate you. And I want you to understand that you can embrace the Wonder Woman within you or the superhero within you. And it's just about taking that next simple step. That's all it is. And starting to gain awareness and then actually asking yourself and reflecting, is this what I want? And if it's not, ask yourself the question, and this is a really hard question, what do I really want? Because when we can get clarity in that, it supports our passion and our purpose and our direction. And then what I want you to do is figure out, okay, once we get that clarity, then it's off to the races. Then we start to create the shift and ask yourself, well, what story do I want, or how do I accelerate my results? And if you'd like some guidance or insight into that, again, come on over to Feng Shui Your Life. Or if you want some personal attention, we can always do a private Feng Shui consultation over the phone, regardless of where in the world you may be. So guys, thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. I appreciate each and every one of you. And thank you so much for this opportunity to share these insights and guidance with you. So in the meantime, keep focused. Take it one simple step at a time and just take the next simple step in everything that comes to you. And then so that you can make an educated decision and continue to move forward and experience progress.